Greetings, Generals, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into an exciting topic, the topic of Hyrox. If you're not familiar, Hyrox is a unique hybrid athlete sport that combines strength-based exercises with cardiovascular endurance. It's become a rising star in modern fitness racing, capturing the attention of athletes and fitness enthusiasts worldwide. Now, when discussing Hyrox, there are often key questions that arise. How do you pace yourself, finish strong? What do you need to be able to do to break the 110 mark or place in your age group? Is there a benchmark for wall ball times or an optimal running pace to aim for? These are crucial insights as many people underestimate the physical demands of events like this. And that's where performance analysis really shines. By breaking down the data, you precisely calculate how to structure your effort across different exercises to hit your target race time. That brings me to today's highlight, Power BI report I've developed showcasing open men's Hyrox times for the 35 to 39 age group across every race held between 2021 and 2023. This dashboard provides a detailed look at what it takes to claim a podium spot in your age category. Best part, the model can be adapted for any age group. Here's your chance to take your performance to the next level. Explore the dashboards to uncover valuable insights, identify trends, and refine your strategy for your next Hyrox race. Whether you're aiming to break personal records or secure a podium finish, this data-driven approach will help you maximize your potential. Now, let's jump into these visuals and see what the numbers reveal. Okay, so Generals, what we've got here today is we've got the Open Men's Hyrox 35 to 39 age group, 2021 to 2023. This is the data from every single race in the 35 to 39 Open Men's category in that age group across these seasons here. So this is the average, okay, that we're looking at here, and just a bit of an overview. So as you can see straight away, we've got the average time is 90 minutes, okay? This is put into decimals, by the way, because we had to change out of time because Power BI wouldn't allow time to analyze, so I had to use some M code and some DAX to put it together. But I'll do a bit of a breakdown so you kind of understand what the time is. But you just go 90 seconds or 90 minutes is an hour and a half, for example, pretty easy. 60 minutes is an hour, etc. All right, so coming up here, we've got, okay, we can see 21, 22, and 23. So the average is about an hour and a half here. So an hour and a half here in 2021, followed by an hour and a half or an hour and 29 in 22, and an hour and a half again here in 23. Now, in this age group, we can see the participation rate really increased from 21 to 23. There was only, 343 participants here, and 2,037 here, followed by 4,994 here. Now, this could potentially be because 21 season didn't have as many races, or we might have only got the back end of 21 season with the data, but we could definitely see some growth here in participation rate, which over the years will probably affect these averages. But if they're around about the same, this sort of tells us that's sort of where most people are landing. Okay, so coming down here, we've got the average total run time. Okay, so I'm just going to go through here to get a time of an hour and a half, what you're sort of looking to be able to do. So, with running here, you need to be able to do 45 minutes, okay, on the run, get an hour and a half, which, a lot of people think that's probably pretty easy, right? Because you break that down and you go, okay, well, it's 8 1K runs, 5 minute K average is 40 minutes. So, if you do 5:15 as such, across that, it's about 42. So yeah, about 5:30 pace is kind of what you need to be looking at here to hit average. The average on the ski erg is 5 minutes in this age category. Average of sled pull, 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes there. So that's 5.1. which is a little bit over 5 minutes there. Average of sled push, we got 3.21 there. So we just go if it says 0.25, for example, that's 15 seconds. So it's probably like 3:14 there, 3:13, something like that. Average of burpee broad jumps here, 5 minutes 48. So it's close to 5.5. That's 5.5 minutes. Average of the rower, 4.85. Okay, so we're getting close to that 5 minute mark, or that probably 2:20. Average per 500 meter pace. Average of farmers carries, 2.29. So once again, looking at around 2 minutes 15 there. Average of sandbag lunges, we've got 5.39. So that's, 5:20 something. Average of wall balls, um, 6.73. So that's around 6:45 there. Okay. All right. So if you want to break this all down, and let's say you're doing faster than an hour and a half and you're doing an hour 20, but some of your metrics are aligned here with what these are or slower than these benchmarks, then they're the exercises that you need to target there. Okay. As we can see here, the wall balls are pretty slow for the average person at the end. Everyone's pretty exhausted there by the time they get to the end. Um, First half and second half split. To get this time here, we can see people typically go faster in the first half than second half. Average of total run time. Okay, that's just this time again, as I said, about 5 minute 30 pace. And the fastest time recorded from all the seasons from 21 to 23 in the open men's category for 35 to 39 was 55 minutes. All right, so it just gives us a bit of a look, an outline there as to sort of what this average looks like. Okay, so the next question is, how can I podium in an open Hyrox event? Okay, so we're looking at the data here, the same data for all the races between 21 and 23, the open men Hyrox 35 to 39. Okay, so we can sort of see here in 21 on average, you need to go an hour and 4 to get on the podium across all the different races. That was the average. So some races might be quicker, some might be a bit slower, depending on culture and environmental factors, access to gyms, population, density, and how many of those people, train, or whether, they have to work, 12-hour days in that country versus countries like Australia where you only need to work maybe an 8-hour day. So, they're all variables that can change the result. And then also, athletes going and traveling and competing in different, uh, internationally in different races can also change the results here a little bit, or the average here a little bit. So if we look here in 21, hour and 4 minutes to the win there. So this is the winning time. Over here, an hour and 1 in 22, followed by an hour 3 here in 23. So you probably find that, some of the people here in 22 went into the pro division, I would say, in 22 before they're getting into 23 when it was a bit slower. Or actually, I would probably say that is, before looking at any numbers, I would say that this is a result of more events globally and a high participation rate, bringing that average, down a little bit, or bring that average up a little bit, making the time to win a little bit slower overall. Okay, so having a look down here next. Okay, I've got all the runs in this just so we can sort of have a bit of a detailed look as to what this looks like. So you can sort of see here on all the runs, right? You got 4.08, 4.27. Okay, so that's just around about a 4 minute K there. 4.27 is about a 4:15, 4:16. Down here, looking around a 4:10. Run here, it's another kind of, 4:10, 4:08 sort of thing. And again here around that 4:10 mark. So you're kind of looking at realistic, so also that's the rower. There's a 4:10. Run here, 4.29. Yes, it's a 4:15. 4:10, 4:10 or so. And then over here we're looking at 4:20 something. So you're looking at probably an average here of the running at around low fours. So 4:15 to 4:20 is probably your training simulation pace to try and match the winning times here in this particular age group. If we look at ski erg, right, the time's actually surprisingly pretty steady on the ski erg. So if you're smashing out 150 or 140s on the ski erg and you're aiming for the time here of, um, let's just say, we'll click on this one. Yeah, so let's just say you're on the ski erg and you want to get down to an hour and three. 4.55, that's 4.5 minutes on the ski erg. Okay. And I haven't included rock zone times. This is just the exercise here. This doesn't include rock zone. So, you just need to sort of pull it back and go, right, well, I'm just going to roll at 215 average per 500 meters and save all my energy, have a good solid run, save my energy on the ski. Sled push 2.32. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty fast. So, and sled pull's pretty quick as well. Burpee broad jumps is pretty quick. So, and then if we look at the rower, 414 there, so 4.14, that's around just over that 4 minute pace again. So 205, 207 average per 500 meters. So it's not super fast there. And I think that just kind of emphasizes going easy in the ergs in Hyrox and working the runs because 80% of the event is running. And if you work the ergs too hard, you're going to be compromising your running later on. If you blow out here in wall balls for 6 minutes, 7 minutes, then your time's going to be going up. So, farmers carries here, that's fast, right? That's a minute and a half of farmers carries to carry 24 kilo kettlebells in each hand for 200 meters. So, it's about conserving yourself, turning this into a threshold event and trying to gain consistency on each one of these times here. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to see just like what the top three you have to do. Okay. Because some people might not be able to win it, but they might be able to contest a top three position. All right. So top three, what are we looking at? Okay. So 2023, you're looking at just under 67 minutes. So that's an hour and 6 and 45 seconds. The conversion is to that. So if I've got that up here, I can have a look down here at the splits. So hit the splits down here. I can see what pace is on each one of these runs here. Okay. And I know that, okay, some 430s is probably going to get me pretty close. 420s probably. Yeah, that one's a bit slower here, 445 pace there, but around 430 average is sort of getting up there when you start looking at 67 minutes, 66 high. So, if you're looking at breaking an hour 10, I would say aiming for around 430, 435 pace per 1K would be pretty good in this instance. If we're looking at the ergs, okay, 4.72, that equates to nearly 445 pace. So, 222 and a half per 500 meters. So, that's a pretty easy ski erg. You don't need to go hard to match that time. You might go a little bit quicker if you need to if you can't do the time on the sled push or sled pull. But, if with good conditioning through this, you should be able to hit these times. And then burpee broad jumps here. Okay, looking at that's pretty good. 315. That's solid. And then farms carries are still pretty quick. Sandbag lunges under sort of like getting close to that 340 mark there, which is pretty decent. And then wall balls, you're looking at 4.5 minutes there on average, okay, for wall balls. So if your wall balls are 5 minutes and you're worried that you might not break an hour 10 because you feel like your wall balls are too slow, then don't freak out because it's only 30 seconds off that average there of all these people that podium across these seasons that went 66 minutes or an hour and 6 minutes and 45 seconds. All right. So next we're going to go back and we're going to have a bit of a look at some of the different events here. Okay. I'm going to keep it on bronze. we'll have a look at London, okay, in 23. Okay, to get a bronze in London, you need to go 62. These are all rounded, by the way, here. Just made the cleaning phase a little bit easier in the analysis, which can affect the result a little bit, but we're just trying to get this right. Okay, we'll have a look at, let's have a look at Amsterdam. Okay, so around 63 minutes on both of them to get on the podium there. Reset again. Right, let's have a look at somewhere like Dubai that's a bit hotter. Okay, 67 minutes to get on the podium there at Dubai in 2023. LA, 66. Melbourne, 67. Okay, so yeah, we can sort of see that there. This is just a really easy rounded breakdown here. So the way the rounding works here is just to the nearest whole minute. So if it's a 4:29 pace, it'll get rounded down to 4. If it's 4:31, it'll get rounded up to 5 for the running. Um, so you can sort of see here, and it's the same with the ergs and everything else. So if we look at the breakdown here, if you're 4 minutes on the runs, 5 minutes on the ski, 2 minutes on the sled push, 3 minutes on the sled pull, 4 minutes on the burpee broad jumps, 4 minutes on the rower, two on the farmers carries, four on sandbag lunges, five on wall balls. And you're getting pretty close to that 67 minutes there. Okay. So first half split 31 minutes, second half split 35 minutes. Okay. So realistically, if you want to get under 110 in training for your half sims, you want to be trying to get as close to this as you can. I'd probably be looking at like trying to get under 32:30 if I want to break for the first half sim or Hyrox in training. If I want to get under an hour 10, 30 with 35 minutes here as the average of 67, I would look at trying to get under, 37 in the set for a second half Hyrox sim, and that would set you up for success there. Keen to hear your questions regarding this, and thanks for listening in to my channel as always, and I look forward to catching you in the next video. Cheers, guys.